Hey, what up YouTube? Alright, so guys, in this video we're gonna work on doing the validations for our sign up form or activity. And funny enough, when we were doing the design, I actually forgot to add the sign up button here, which is supposed to go between that text there which says already have an account and so forth. So but we will shortly fix that up once we start working on our validations. So the first thing I want us to just verify is to see if each and every one of these components here, do they have IDs, because we need these IDs in order to access them in our sign up activity Java class. So we obviously need the first name, that has an ID as you can see there, and then we also have our last name, we have email, and then here we have password, and then here we have confirm. Alright, and then right after that, as you can see, there's a layout here that wraps around the password and the confirm password field. So, and then right after that layout we have this text field here which basically says already have an account, and then which has a link or which has an action method that takes us to the login activity. So between that layout and this particular text, I'm going to add the button for sign up because we're going to need it once we start working on the in the Java class. So for that I'm going to say button okay, I'm going to give it an ID, which this is going to be sign up btn. Okay, and then we're going to say some odd reason it's giving me an error. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Okay, for some odd reason it was giving me an error, but in any case we have it now. But this is supposed to, let's see, the width is going to be this is going to match the parent. Alright, and then the height is going to be wrap content, and then I'm going to also change the, I'm going to move this. Okay, and then the text size is going to be about, let's see, 22 SP. That's too big. Let's give it 16 SP. That should be fine. And then I'm going to give it a little bit of a padding there. It's going to be about 10 dp. Maybe increase it a bit. That should be fine. And then the margin as well from the top, which is going to be about 10 dp. Should be fine. So remember, we created a resource file to as a for styling our buttons and text fields. So I'm going to add that styling here. So I'm going to say background, then I'm going to say add drawable, and then let's see, it's going to be main btn styling. Okay, then I'm going to add the text color as well, which is going to be add color, sorry, that's gonna be dark royal purple. Okay, and then let's change that text to sign up, and then let me see. Font weight, is it font weight? Yeah, that is text font weight. Then I'm gonna say 700. I'm gonna zoom in a bit here so we can see it. There he is. Okay, alright, so we have our button, we have its ID, it's supposed to be sign up btn. Okay, so now that we have that, we can now move to our sign up activity Java class, which you're gonna find here within the main package. So I'm just gonna click there, and then you should see it. So now at the top here, I'm gonna just instantiate all of those elements. So we're first gonna start with the text field. So it's gonna be edit text. Right, so we have first name, then we have last name, and then we have what is it, email, password, and then confirm. Alright, so because all of them are text field, you can actually add them up within one line. You don't have to do it one by one, where you say edit text first name, edit text last name, edit text, and so forth. Then we're gonna get the button as well, and then the button is sign up btn. Okay, you can save that. Alright, so to wire up these variables that we set up here at the top, we need to come in here within the onCreate method. So right below here, we're gonna say so we're gonna say first name, which is going to equal to find view by ID. This is the method that you use to get the ID. So we're going to say r.id dot I believe it's first name, and that's basically it. So you use this particular method to say find view by ID, and then remember the ID that we're calling here, it's not the one here at the top. The one that we're calling here is this one here within the edit text, I mean within the with the one that you set up here as an ID, the edit text field, you get the ID from there. And so we're gonna do the rest for the other fields. So I'm gonna copy that, paste it a couple of times. So it's gonna be last name, and then it's gonna be email, then password, it's password, and then password, and then confirm. Alright, so that's basically it. Alright, so now we're going to do the same thing for the button. So we're going to say okay. So now we're going to say what is it? sign up button, and then it's just going to equal to find view by ID. So we're going to say r.id dot what is it, sign up btn. Let me just verify if that's the one. Make sure copy that and then paste it here. Alright, so we got our button. So now guys, when it comes to validation within Android, I'm not quite really sure what the best practices are, but it's not like where you have an HTML file where you can just use JavaScript to do all kinds of validations and so forth. But you can still implement some of the same principles. And so what I'm going to do in terms of validating our fields, I'm going to add a couple of Boolean methods here that are going to validate each and every one of these fields. So the first one is going to be the first name and last name. So I'm going to say public for, actually it's Boolean, and then let's say validate first name. Okay, so in here we're gonna say string. I'm gonna say first name. We're gonna say what is it? First name dot get text, and then dot to string. So remember, you have to convert it to a string so that it works with this string variable here. So the only thing now we're going to do is just say if we can keep it simple. We can say if first name dot is empty, then here we can just say return false, right? And then also we can set an error message to the text field. So what we can do here is say first name, which is this one here, the edit text field value. We're gonna say dot set error, and then we're gonna just give it an error message there. We're gonna say first name cannot be empty, right? And that's it. And then otherwise we're gonna say else we're gonna say return true, right? And then what we need to then do here is say first name, again we are getting the edit text field, dot set error to null. And that's pretty much it. So let me just put a comment here to say okay. Alright, and then I'm also going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to say end of sign up activity class. Okay, so now because we've done this, we're going to do the same thing for the last name field. So I'm going to copy this method and then paste it down here. Then this one is going to be last name. Okay, so we're going to change that from first name to last name, and then change this to last name. Copy that, paste it there. Okay, and we're gonna also change that error message and say last name cannot be empty, and then we have to change that from first name to last name. All right. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing for email, right? And we're gonna save that. Right, so here we're gonna change that from last name to email. Let's copy that, paste it there, paste it there. This is gonna be email. Okay, let me just say email underscore e, just to make the name different, because I already have a variable called email, so I'm just gonna put an underscore there just to make the name different. So I'm gonna save that, and then let's see, we say email cannot be empty. So now there's also a way of I have a method that I can use to validate whether the user is inputting a correct email address. So I'm just gonna get that script shortly, and then once I'm back, we're gonna set up that method. One moment for me, please. Alright guys, I'm back. Okay, so I've got my method. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a folder up here within the main package. Within that folder, I'm just gonna call it helper, because within that package what I'm gonna do is create a string helper, which is gonna return that this particular method that I'm referring to. I'll let you know just now. So I'm just gonna say helper. And then in here I'm gonna create a Java class. I'm just gonna say string helper. I don't have to name it that, but I'm just gonna keep it simple. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is paste a method that we're gonna use to validate our email. So alright, so this is the method here. So now don't even try to remember all of this, but this is the expression, the regular expression that works for me to validate emails. So what I did here was I created a string that I called regex, and then in here I put an expression value, which is gonna validate to see whether the email address that the user is inserting matches this particular pattern that you see here. And then from there, what I do is, by the way, this this method is gonna take in a parameter which is a string email, an email value. And then here we're in this if block, all we're doing is calling that email that the user is going to be inputting within this method to see, and then validate to see if it matches. As you can see, we're using a matches method here, which comes with the string object here. So we're checking to see if this email address matches this regular expression that we set up here. If it does, it's going to return true. Otherwise, it's going to return false. All right. So this is the method that we're going to call within our sign up activity here. So I'm just going to put another else if here. I'm going to say else if, and then I'm going to put right, and then just close that, and then here we're going to call that string helper. By the way, as you can see, this is a static method, so we can call it statically without instantiating the class. So we're going to say string helper, right, and then dot regex, and then we're going to pull in that email here. So remember, this is the value we're pulling in. So here we're gonna see if this returns true or false. So remember, this is returning true. If the email matches, it's gonna return true, otherwise it's gonna return false. So that's what we're checking here. If this does not return true, and then now we're gonna set our error message here. I'm gonna copy what we did here and then paste it there, and then say please let's see, please enter a valid email. Let's just say valid email so that the message is not too long. Please enter a valid email, and then we return false. And then otherwise, if everything is in order, we're just going to return true and then set the error message to null. Let me change this to last name, and there we're going to say last name here as well. And then let's change this to email. Okay, so that's pretty much it for our email validation method. So now we're going to do the password one. So I'm just going to copy here again, and right below the email validation method I'm going to paste that and then say password. Right, we're going to change this to password, and then again here I'm going to say password underscore p. I should have named this these names way better than what I did, but yeah. So password underscore p dot is empty. In fact, what we're gonna do here, we're gonna say validate password and confirm. Both gonna check the two fields, so I'm gonna copy this again and just check both of them within the same method. So this one is going to be confirm p, and then change this to confirm. And then here we're going to say if confirm p dot is empty. So whether the password or the confirm password field is empty, it's gonna come here and then set the error message. Right, we're gonna say password cannot be empty. So confirm field cannot be empty, password field cannot be empty. So let's copy that and come down here, paste them both. I'm going to change that to null. Also change that to null. Okay, we're going to save that. Alright, so let's see. So we got the validate. So we're checking both the confirm and password field within the same method. So we're checking if the password field is empty or the confirm field is empty, and if any one of them is empty, it's going to come here, set the error messages, and then return false. Otherwise it's going to come in here and then just return true. Let's just change the naming here. Copy that, paste it there, okay, and save it. All right, so now now that we've done this, what we're gonna do is, so here is the first name field that we're validating. We probably could have done the same thing with the last name and first name field, like how we did down here, but I just, you know, just wanted to show you that you can do it multiple ways. So right above these two, right above the first validate first name method, I'm going to create another method here, and then here we're going to call this public, let's see, void, and then we're going to say process form fields, right? And then all right, so now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say if, right, we're gonna check if those methods return true or false. So we're gonna say if, validate first name or validate last name, and then say validate email, email, and then obviously we're gonna say the last one is validate password and confirm, right? Another thing I forgot to add is the exclamation marks. So we're gonna check and see if these return false. We're just gonna do that, add these exclamation marks at the beginning, right? We are gonna say return we're gonna say return, right? Otherwise we are just gonna say, let's just add a toast message here, right? So it's gonna be the what is it, sign up activity dot this, and then we're just gonna show a toast message just for the time being to show that these the form fields have been successfully processed. So we're gonna say registration successful, and I'm gonna make the length a bit long, dot show. Save that. Alright guys, so let me just add a comment here. Okay. Okay, so alright guys, so like I explained in the beginning, this computer that I'm currently using at the moment is very low on spec, and so I haven't set up an emulator to test this out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect my actual physical phone or device onto this project and install this phone on there, and then if everything is in order, what I'll do is I'll record. My phone has a screen recorder, so I'm going to record what the app looks like, or if it's showing any of these validations, and then insert that particular clip probably right at this moment. And then but if I do encounter issues on my phone, I will address that once the once I'm done testing. But before that, let me just explain again. So remember, here we are validating the first name. This is a method that we created to we are validating the first name field, the last name field, the email field, and then also the password fields, right? And then this method that we are using here basically is the method that the button that we set up here is going to when we click on that button, which is let me just go back here. So when we click on the sign up button, it's going to process this particular method that we set up here, which is process field. So how do we go about doing that? So we're going to come back here. Let me add a comment again. End of on create method. Okay, so we're going to come back here within the on create method, right underneath where the button is. So I'm going to say sign up btn dot set on, is it on click listener? Yeah, on click listener, and then we have to say new, and then view dot on click listener, and then luckily the IDE is gonna pick up what we're trying to do, and then it's gonna set up our on click listener. So basically you say sign up, which is this button here, which again is wired up to this sign up button that you see here, the blue one, right? And then we're gonna set a method called on click listener, and then in there we're gonna set a parameter where you say new view dot on click listener, and then in that on click listener there's also there's a function that you get here which says on click. So within this method here, the one that says public void on click, this is where we call this process fields method. So we're going to come here, we're going to say process fields, right? And that's pretty much it. So now let me connect my device and install this particular app. Don't know if it's picking it up. Okay, so I've got my Samsung phone already connected. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna install this app onto my phone. What happened? Okay, I'm gonna install this app onto my phone, test and see if what we've done here is correct. If there's any issues, I will address them. If not, I will record what the app looks like, what happens when you click on the device, and so forth, and then I will insert the clip right at this moment to show you guys what happens. So I'm just gonna click play, and then what it's gonna do is it's gonna install the app. As you can see there, the Gradle build is running. So while it does that, I'm gonna pause the video, test out the app, and then again, like I said, if all is well, and then I will insert a clip at this moment, and then from there on we you can see if everything that we've done is working or not. One moment for me, please. Alright guys, so the app is working fine. You should have seen a clip that I've inserted just before now. So that's what the app looks like. You should have seen the also the validation, the error messages that we had set up here within our methods. And yeah, man, as you saw, also our regular expression for our email is also working. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the validations. We don't have to go too far. You can do more in here. And then you might have seen as well when I pressed on the password field, because the confirm password field was still showing was still empty, it still set the error to the password. So again, it's that thing where we don't have to do it within the same either the same method or use the same if block to check for both. So but in any case, that's how the app looks. So the one last thing that I want to change is the password and confirm field. So as you saw, they are displaying as plain text. So I want to change this. So I'm going to come back here into sign up XML file, and then we can change the input type of these two fields for the password and the confirm password field. So I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to say input type, then we can say where is it, number password? No, I think it's text password, right? And then I just want to copy that and then paste it down here on the confirm field as well. And that's pretty much it for our validations. So that's it for the video, guys. So in the next video, we're gonna work on then now posting data to our Spring Boot backend. So as you see now, our process form fields, it's currently checking to see if our fields are meeting the right criteria. And then as you saw within the clip that I added, the toast message displays after if everything is in order when it comes to what is required from our fields. But then now within the next video, we're going to work within this method. We're going to remove this toast. Actually, we're going to keep it. We're going to keep it, but then we're going to start working on posting this information to our Spring Boot backend. And so that's what we're going to be working on within the next video. Alright, guys, so that's it for this one. Again, if you've liked what you've seen so far, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers for now.